from the Convention Center at San Diego. I'm here with Dr. Van Vollenhoven, editor of Lupus Science Medicine journal, and he is here this week to present on new research for clinical trials. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Lauren.
Can you tell us a little bit about this research and why it's significant to the lupus patients?
Sure. So I'm presenting here at the ACR Congress on behalf of a large group of investigators who all together did this clinical trial. And also, I want to say with a very big thanks to the 120 patients with lupus who voluntarily participated in the trial. And what was done was 80 of these 120 patients were given a medication called ustekinumab. And it was first an infusion, and then they were also continuing with injections. And the other 40 patients were given the placebo, so they didn't know that it wasn't a real medication. It was a blinded trial. And the question was, is this medication going to help the patients with lupus get better control of their disease? So these were usually patients who were already on some medications for lupus, and then this was added to what they were on. And they usually had some activity, or they had to have some activity to be in a trial in their lupus. And the question was, is activity going to go down? Are they going to maybe have fewer flares? Are they going to feel better? And the main results were analyzed after 24 weeks. That's about half a year. And after that amount of time, it was clear that those patients who were given the medication, ustekinumab, they were doing better. And the patients who were on the placebo were doing about the same. So there was a difference, and this was also statistically significant. So we can really accept that it is really a difference that is true.
That is really exciting. And now that you have phase 2, what do we expect next?
Sure, a phase 2 trial is only just one step in the development of a new treatment. And so what usually happens is if the phase 2 looks promising, and I use the word promising because, we've also sometimes had situations where it looked good and then it didn't pan out, but this does look promising, and so we're thinking it's going to go to a phase 3 trial, which is even bigger, which involves more patients. Also, typically it has a longer duration, it continues for longer. This was 6 months, but it could be a year or even longer. And then, of course, the results will have to be confirmed in that trial, and that could then lead to an approval of this medication for patients with lupus. But there's a twist to this story because ustekinumab is already being used. It's an approved medication, but for other indications. It's under the trade name Stelara. It is used for the treatment of psoriasis in the skin and also for psoriatic arthritis, the joint disease that often comes along with psoriasis. And it's been around for actually quite a number of years. So you can say there's familiarity with the drug in the medical profession. The rheumatologists know about it. Patients, not patients with lupus, but patients with other diseases have been treated with it. And that also means that the safety of this drug is fairly well understood. And fortunately, it has been a good safety record. It is a medication, of course, every medication has some risks and some side effects, but given everything, it's a medication that has been good to use and where it's been mostly accepted and tolerated well by the patients.
Wow, that's really exciting and fantastic.
I have a question from the audience. They want to know specifically which treatment it is, and is the trial for the phase 2 running in the United States, and when recruitment is beginning, or is it still going?
Okay, so the question was, what is the medication, and is this trial ongoing in the U.S.?
And are they still recruiting patients?
And are they still recruiting people?
Yeah, so the medication is ustekinumab. That's the official name, the so-called generic name. And then the name under which it is sold for other indications is Stelara. And so this medication is, for as far as lupus is concerned, it's not approved, so that's very important to underscore. And in the trial that was now reported, that's closed, that's done, so that's why we are able to report it. And we are hoping, of course, that a phase 3 trial will be started, but that's not been done yet. And it's quite a big undertaking, and also it involves a lot of expenses, so we hope that it can get started soon, and then most likely it will be in the United States as well as in some other countries. And of course, at that point, some patients would be able to participate.
Wonderful. That's really helpful. And you can find out more about clinical trials on lupus.org as well. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we are excited that you guys are watching. Thank you.